Welcome back everyone, I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw an Ankylosaurus head. So here's our reference image. And this reference image was inspired by someone named Oliver Theobald, and I just found it on the internet and it looked really cool, so I thought why not do a tutorial on it. Plus I haven't done a tutorial in a while. So with that being said, get out your pencil, paper, and eraser, and we will dive into the tutorial. So for all of those of you who are new, I'm using my Graph Gear 500 mechanical pencil available on Amazon, and just an eraser from Hobby Lobby. So we're going to start off with an outline, and to do that we're just going to put like a circle slightly to the left side of your paper. This is going to represent the head, because we want to leave a little bit of room here for the neck. It's got a very thick neck, and we're only going to draw a tiny bit of the neck. And yeah, let's put in the eye. The eye is going to be right about there. It's going to have these really cool horns. It's going to have one coming out of its cheek. We're going to show about 2 of them on the neck, and then we're just going to fade the neck off. We're going to put in the beak right about here, and Ankylosaurus is going to have its mouth open. So this is not the Ankylosaurus from Jurassic World, in case any of you guys are wondering. We're going to have the mouth slightly open, we're going to have some of the tongue showing. I'm just sketching things out lightly with my pencil, so when it comes to erase these lines, it won't be too hard, and there won't be any indentation left into the paper. So be sure to, do light strokes with your pencil. I have a nostril right about there. The proportions look pretty good so far. And I think we can move on to the next stage. So yeah, take a moment to finish up your drawing, and I will see you guys. Take a moment to finish up your drawing, and we will move on to the next segment, in which we'll be adding a little bit more detail and refinement. So the first thing I want to add more detail to is to the beak. I think that's where we're going to start off, and we're just going to work our way to the right. It's got a beak that's got like a bunch of these little lines in it to show the grain, and actually I'm going to erase some of our outline already. So put in some of that grain. Also make it a little bit darker near the very tip of the beak. And a little bit darker at the top as well. By darker, I just mean a lot more lines. There we go. So I think our beak is pretty much complete. And now we can move on to the mouth. So the mouth is going to be opened, as I said, and we're going to have the tongue sticking out. So basically all around the tongue is going to be shaded in pretty dark, and the tongue will be left a little bit lighter. Where's my brush? There we go. So let's draw the bottom of the mouth. It's gonna have a little bit of beak showing here. Again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a bunch of lines in to show the grain. And here's where I'm going to get out a shading pencil, and you can do the same when we do the darkness around the tongue. If I can find a shading pencil, that is. Here we go. This is just a 2B pencil, slightly darker than your average school pencil, so it's nothing too dark. But we'll take this pencil and shade in every area. So you want to leave nothing white except for the tongue. Maybe have it a little bit lighter as we get closer to the light. So obviously there's going to be more light showing to this area of the mouth than back here. And then the tongue is going to have a slight shade to it. And yeah, there we go. I might add a little bit more shading to the beak here, now that I have this darker pencil. And let's put in the nostril while we still have our shading pencils in hand, or whatever pencil you're using. And let's continue the line here. I want to make it a little bit more refined, like we want to finalize it, because the outline was a little wishy-washy. And by the way, this drawing is just covered in scales, which I plan to do, but I may time-lapse that part. But I'm going to show you guys how to draw a few of the scales. For instance, we're going to put some around the nostril here. Almost looks like little flower petals, doesn't it? And I think we'll also add a few along the very edge here of the beak. And Ankylosaurus has like really bumpy skin and lots of spikes and stuff. But this drawing in particular that Mr. Theobald did is actually like doesn't have that many bumps on it. It's just like regular scales. So you can change yours up. You can add more spikes, do bumpier scales, bigger scales, whatever. I'm just going to be pretty much copying the reference image. Okay, so we got the mouth area completed. Now let's move on to the eye. It's going to have a rather large eye. And it sort of has like a scared look on its face, or an alarmed look. So maybe it just saw like a Tyrannosaurus Rex appear, crashing through the trees or something, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to put in the eye. So once you've done that, I'm going to put in the eyelid. It's like one line above it. And already that makes it look so much better. And we'll do the same thing on the bottom and add a few wrinkles around the eye. Not too many, we don't want it to look like a 90-year-old Ankylosaurus. And it's got like a serious brow ridge in this picture, which we will put in, which gives it more character, the eyebrow. Notice like when people do horses in Disney animation, they always give them like eyebrows, even though horses in real life don't have eyebrows. Like in Tangled or Spirit from DreamWorks. Alright, so I've added these little like squiggly lines across the brow. Not exactly sure why, but they're in the reference image, so I figured I might as well put them in. And then now for the pupil. So we're going to do like a circle that's almost complete, but don't complete it because we want to leave a little bit of white there to make it look shiny. There we go. Then let's put a larger circle around that dark one. So if you leave like white below and above the eyeball or the pupil, that's what makes an animal or human look scared, because their eyes are all wide opened. And that's what we're going for here. It looks like an alarmed look. And then we'll shade the edges of the eyeball. Like so, to make it look more round. Looks very, very cool. Now I'll add some more shading underneath this brow. Alright. Okay, so the next thing we're going to tackle is, how about these huge horns, or spikes, whatever you want to call them, coming out of the skull. They're not exactly sharp, but yeah, they got a point to them. And again, we're going to erase our outline. So as you guys saw, I made the horn a little bit larger. Again, the horn's going to have some shading to it and a grain, so I want to make the lines all go in the same direction. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing for the bottom one here. just comes out of the cheek. But this one, on the other hand, is not going to have as much shading as the one on the top. Yeah, I'm smudging a lot. I think it's the paper I'm using. I'm using an Arteza sketchbook right now. Okay, so we've connected this line, connecting the bottom jaw to the neck. So go ahead and put that in. And then we're going to put some more of these squiggly lines on the bottom here. And this part's going to be pretty dark because it's being shaded by the horn coming out of the cheek. There we go. Already our Ankylosaurus is looking fabulous. And this spot, like, I'm going to create a little line here that goes up to the brow. And yeah, just this whole spot is going to be, from here to the left, is going to have a slight shade to it. So let's go ahead and put that in. Not too dark, but a slight shade. And it's going to stop right about where the nose is. And this area we actually will smudge. You can either use like a professional smudging tool or your finger. Smudging tools like that rolled up piece of paper. I think I have some, but I don't use them all the time. I might get one out right now just to show you guys. But using your finger is a great way to do it as well, unless you don't want to get your finger full of graphite. Be careful in smudging though, it can ruin like your scales. I'm going to smudge a little bit past our boundary point. This looks so good. Gives our Ankylosaurus a nice tan, a nice skin tone. I have one friend, and he's like a really good artist, but he over smudges in my opinion. Like he smudges every drawing, especially his portraits, and like they're really good portraits and everything, but he thinks like smudging is gonna fix everything. So, well, not fix everything, but he feels like smudging adds like an extra artistic touch to it, I guess. I haven't told him this, by the way, so I hope he's not watching my video. But yeah, I just don't like how he over smudges everything. Like a lot of his drawings would look much better if they didn't have as much smudging going on. Alright, so I've added more squiggly lines up there on both the brow. And let's draw the back of the head now. Got like one line coming up here. I guess these lines are just sort of showing where this horn attaches to the skull. And again, this area will be nice and shaded. Alright, okay, so we're going to do scales later. I'm going to time-lapse that. But before I do that, let's go ahead and do the neck. Finish things up back here. Have your eraser handy to get rid of some of the messes that we made earlier on. Basically, we're just gonna like duplicate this one like 3 times. So we're gonna have 3 horns visible. Maybe this one will be slightly cut off, so have like an imaginary line, or just like erase where our drawing is going to fade. The imaginary line stops right about there, and we'll probably sign our names in the corner there at the end. I have no idea what's the deal. There's so many helicopters going over these days. Not sure if you guys can hear that. It seems like every 10 minutes or so there's another helicopter. Okay, so we're gonna have some, these wrinkles are gonna be going like up and down, and the ones here are gonna be going sideways. And obviously the bottom's gonna have a lot more shading to it. I've got to sharpen my pencil. I do sort of like not appreciate it when there are these people like who have huge platforms or celebrities in general, when they start talking about things that are going on like on the news and stuff. It's like I wish they would just stick to their talent or whatever their YouTube channel is about, or you know, instead of just thinking like everyone wants to hear their opinion. Because I certainly don't like to hear people's opinions on things like this, like on the news or politics or whatever. So I try not to use my platforms as a way of stuffing my opinion down people's throats. You know. Alright, so our Ankylosaurus is pretty much done, except for the scales, which I will do in a moment. So yeah, finish up all that, which is a lot to do, and then I will see you guys at the end, where we will sign our drawings. Alright guys, I don't know how yours turned out, but I'm super happy with the way mine turned out. The scales did take a lot of time, I think around 15 minutes, but it's definitely worth it. This drawing looks professional, frame-worthy, and I could go on and on. But yeah, that being said, let's sign our drawings. I'm just going to do it right here. And yeah, today is July 1st actually, so let's put in the date. 07/01/2020. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, and comment below what you think I should draw next. And be sure to check out my vlog channel. I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate every one of you who goes over there and subscribes. It's called Danny Adventure Vlogs, for those of you who don't know. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.